Good evening, YTPC. How are we all doing? It's Jake, Ziggy Num Nums, coming at you from my... I don't have a nickname for my living room yet. And I've seen a few other fellas are doing it, maybe ladies too. I'm gonna just jump in line. Not really the type to do that, but I'm gonna give you my review of 2018. Oh, 2018. It's been such a ride. We've had some good times, we've had some bad times. We've laughed, we've cried, we've fallen in love, we've mourned the loss of some culinary idols of mine, one especially. So you can go fornicate with yourself for that. But moving on, I've had some good times in the tobacco world. To get to the housekeeping, I'm smoking my Missouri Meerschaum Bent Apple Diplomat. What am I smoking in it? Well, that's a good segue to what else I'm doing here. I'm going to give you my top 5 tobaccos of the year. I haven't done this before, so this is a first. And sipping along with it, some banana-infused bourbon. Sounds messed up, right? It's pretty tasty. Dangerously good. So these are all pretty much chameleon blends. As in, they show their true colors later. Calm down. The first time I smoked them, maybe I didn't really like them, or I didn't really understand them. I think it takes about 5 bowls of just about anything before you really understand a blend. Maybe even more, maybe even a few ounces, or the entire tin or something. But, these are all things that kind of changed. So, the segue of what I'm currently burning in this pipe is my number 5. Cornell & Diehl Epiphany. That is an awful handmade label of my own. This is a crossover English with a slight fruit, honey kind of topping. It's supposed to be a recreation of something that Albert Einstein enjoyed. I found that really interesting. First bowl I had of this, I think it was too wet. I didn't like the way it tasted, but given a few more chances, and I've started to really enjoy it. It is both good in Briars and Cobbs. Number 4, GLP's Key Largo. I had an interest in trying cigar blends. I am a fan of cigars. I'm just not a fan of having to dedicate like an hour and a half to smoke it. Like, when I smoke a cigar, I'm smoking that cigar, and I'm doing not a frickin' thing else. Except maybe drinking a whiskey. Or 3. But when I smoke a pipe, it's like, I take as much time as I can to do it, but if I have to set it aside, knock it out and pack it later, no big deal. But this, I first tried over the summer. I liked the first bowl, but I didn't really start to understand it until I set it aside and came back to it. It's really well-rounded. When I smoked it in the summer, it didn't feel too heavy. When I smoked it, when it started getting colder, it was still kind of satisfying, and it even kind of had some notes that reminded me of warm weather. So, this is best enjoyed in a briar. I've tried 2 cigar leaf blends so far, in both briar and cob. I don't recommend them in cob. I don't like the taste. Also, so far, best enjoyed in a billiard-shaped bowl. Number 3. Another GLP's creation, Chelsea Morning, which is an English blend with lots of Perique. I liked it at first, but I had a very wishy-washy experience where one bowl would be good, the next not so good, and just kind of like when I first got introduced to Nightcap. So I set it aside for a while, Didn't touch it for probably about a month. Let my palate kind of recycle and do some other things, try some other things. And then I came back to it one morning, and just a real satisfying morning smoke. I recommend it with a cup of coffee and at least a light breakfast. It's like just heavy enough to where the nicotine might kick you. I've had good experiences in both Briar and Cobb, whatever your preference. If I had to be picky, I'd say it might be a little bit better in a Briar. Now, getting into the top two might surprise you. My number 2 is Frog on a Log, the Frogmorton Original Lat Blend. Y'all thought it might be number 1, but just because it's the most rare and most sought after in my cellar right now doesn't make it my favorite. It was really good. I was privileged to get to try it. I was gifted this tin from my friend Les. Good dude, he gave this to me for my birthday. And I've only had about 2 or 3 bowls out of this tin so far. I'm really, really making it last and savoring each one that I have. I think I'm due for another bowl. It's probably been about a month since I've smoked it. But, yeah, it's good. It's a good, satisfying blend. It's not too heavy. Heavy in flavor, but I don't know. I like really bold flavors in tobaccos, so I never felt overwhelmed by the flavor. Good stuff. It's a shame of what happened to McClellan. And moving on to number 1. Oh, before I do that, I've had this in both Cobbs and Briars. Burns fine either way. Actually, the first time I smoked it was in a Cobb, and didn't really notice a big difference. Number 1, Escudo Navy Deluxe. I'm not a huge vapor guy. I've had a few that I like. Definitely have to be in the mood for them. And oddly enough, I'm not really a real seasonal smoker. I like what I like when I like it. When I have a taste for something, that's when I'm going to smoke it. Now, granted, I don't smoke a lot of lat-heavy things in the summer or too heavy cigar leaf blends in the summer. I'm probably more likely to have Virginia-based blends, but I still bust out my Burleys and my Vapor Burrs, like Haunted Bookshop. I didn't mention that because that's my Desert Island absolute favorite of all time, so I don't think it belongs in any top 5 lists because it's, you know, it gets the gold every time. Maybe beyond gold. Platinum? Gets the platinum. Anyways, this was different than any other vapor I had because the Perique in this, it's more along the line of the sweet fig, you know, kind of fruit flavor that plays well with the sweetness of the Virginia. I believe the tin that I first opened here, I dated it. I think it's about 6 months old, nothing crazy, but I have 2 tins in my cellar right now that I'm going to let age for quite a bit longer, but it's my favorite. I keep going back to it quite often, and actually I found it tastes best in a Cobb. It tastes okay in a Briar, but it tastes good in a small Cobb, namely my Devil Ants pipes. I don't know if it's because it's not filtered, if it's a short stem or whatever, you just get all the flavor right there. But that's it. That's my top 5. Escudo Navy Deluxe is number 1. Honorable mention, Peterson University Flake. This definitely takes the cake as a chameleon blend. Didn't like it when I first tried it. I like it a little more every time I smoke it, but I've been working on this tin for several months, and I think I like it enough to order another tin. I actually went to, but Pipes and Cigars didn't have any when I did my last order, so. Sorry, buddy. I scared my dog. He's trying to eat. He's a nervous little guy. So I won't talk about like personal goals or things like that in this one. I'll do another video for that. But as far as in my tobacco hobby of this year and what I want to do next year, is I tried a lot of new stuff this year. I have quite a bit of open stuff. So I'm going to commit the next several months to just kind of trying to clear that out and then deciding what I want to start stocking up on. And then I'm going to start going through things in the cellar and just trying more stuff. Just broadening my palate and, you know, general horizons of my tastes and how they develop. As far as acquiring pipes, I bought quite a few this year. I'm actually probably going to be letting a few go, and I'm going to be more selective of what I buy. Slowly starting to increase the quality of pipes that I buy. Like each one's just like maybe costs just a little more, it's just a little nicer. I'm really starting to find what I really truly like, what works for me and what doesn't. So that's my year 2018, and 2019 coming on for my experiences and goals in Tobacciana. Till next time, y'all take care of yourselves. I'm going to finish this drink and this pipe, and I'm going to fire up the Xbox and play some Red Dead. So, till next time, take care. Happy smokes.